in July 1959, aged 15. We didn't have a careers master as such, and the only piece of advice I got was from my headmaster, a priest, who said,
"And what do you consider you want to do when you leave us, Lawless?"
When I told him I don't know, he shoved 5 application forms across the desk at me and said,
"Fill out these and send them off."
There were 4 application forms for banks and 1 for an insurance company. Now, there was full employment at the time, which is hard to believe now, so I sent them off and I got offered all 5 interviews, and then I got offered all 5 jobs. I chose the insurance company because the pay was higher, £5 more a year.
Well, when I was ready to leave school, I was summoned by the headmistress, and she said,
"Now, Susanna, what would you like to be? A secretary? A nurse? A teacher?"
well, I knew I hated blood and I wasn't organised enough to be a secretary, so a teacher it had to be.
The law said I couldn't start work till I was 16, so I had to wait until the Monday after my 16th birthday, which was the 31st of August 1959. 43 years later, I retired from the same company.
Well, I went to training college in London, and 40 years later, I retired from teaching, and I'm still waiting for my gap year.
When I started work, I was as green as grass. Well, I'd been to an all-boys Catholic grammar school. There was no work to do because it was just before a general election. So I used to sit around all day chatting. And then when I finished doing that, I'd get up, go for a walk around the building, and it was there I found out that the building was half full of women. At the end of the week, someone came along and gave me money, £5 each week.
Well, I went to college in London, which was lovely because I'd been to an all-girls boarding school in Cornwall, so I loved going out with lots of boys. But I did find that saying I was going to be a teacher didn't always go down too well. So once I pretended to be a bus conductress on the number 73 bus because I knew the route so well.
When I had to change departments because of the lack of work, my boss told me that my new boss wouldn't tolerate my talking. So what he'd do, he'd come up behind me and he'd grab my ear and pull it and twist it really hard. And he told me that one day he'd caught someone talking and he'd come up behind them, grab their ear, pull it, and it'd come off in his hand. He told me to go downstairs and have a look if I didn't believe him. So still being green as grass, down I went, and sure enough, there was a man in there, and he only had one ear. Of course, it turned out he'd lost it in the war, and of course my new boss was a really nice bloke.
Well, I was really naive too. The first Christmas I wanted to hang decorations all around the ceiling, so I didn't know how to keep them up. So I went to a senior colleague and said, "How do I hang decorations on the ceiling?"
"What do you need? A skyhooks."
"Oh, skyhooks." So I went to the Green I went to the ironmongers and asked for the skyhooks. You can imagine how he laughed.
my boyfriend Frank, well, he was called up on his 18th birthday, and he missed the coronation and everything, but he said he didn't think he didn't mind because he thought he'd missed a lot of bull anyway.
When Nicholas was called up, he had to go to Bradford for his medical to see if he was fit for service.
I heard about the medical.
Well, I heard about those medicals. They all had to line up. She was lucky it was summer because they were in their underpants. And my boyfriend Frank said the doctor's hands were very cold, which was surprising considering how many medicals he had to do. And then they asked him what he wanted to be, and he said he wanted to be an engineer, and they put him in the dental corps. I mean, how silly is that?
Well, you can always do your teeth when he gets back.
Oh, not likely. He's doing what's called square bashing now. He's doing square bashing, whatever that is.
That'll be his basic training. Nicholas did his in Honiton. He arrived there on a cold, wet, windy night, and he stood at the station and he looked around him and he thought, I'm not going to like Honiton, and do you know, he hasn't changed his mind.
My boyfriend Frank goes on to say, says, the first couple of days went by in a bit of a haze, what with their sergeant shouting,
Come here, go there, collect that.
and not forgetting,
Get your haircut, you horrible little man.
Gosh, during his training, poor Nicholas was confronted by a beastly corporal who used to shout at him. We're not used to being shouted at home. And he's quite shy. And so he found his first few weeks really hard.
well, my boyfriend Frank, he goes on to say, he says, we spent hours polishing our boots and cleaning our equipment, and I've learned to fire a rifle, go over assault courses, and complete a 20-mile route march, and I work in the cookhouse, peeling spuds and preparing veggies, and washing up dirty pots and pans. I must show this letter to his mother, she'll fall over in shock.
My mother got a shock when poor Nicholas had got a telegram to say he was going to be posted to Singapore. My father said he'd be fine. And his girlfriend, you know what? She wanted to get married immediately.
I wouldn't. I think my boyfriend Frank would like to be posted to sing. I think my boyfriend Frank would like to go abroad. Wouldn't mind a change of scenery myself.
I expect absence will make your heart grow fonder.
Oh, I don't know. Out of sight, out of mind, eh?
Before I left school, I had a Saturday job in the haberdashery department of a big department store. For 6 weeks though, I wasn't allowed to do anything. I wasn't allowed to count buttons, cut ribbon, serve customers. I just don't know how I was supposed to learn to do anything.
Oh, it would suit you. Oh, it would. Do you think you have this in my size? Oh, it's lovely. It's beautiful. Yes.
Can I just measure
be able to buy that dress. Oh, wonderful it was. You were lucky. When I started work, I earned £1.10. I gave my mother £1, had 10 shillings for myself, and out of that pound, she gave me my bus fare every day, and she fed and clothed me. And I thought I kept the house going.
Well, my first job was, I earned more money than any of my friends that left school the same time as me. But then, after I was off sick for 3 months with glandular fever, they gave me the sack. I didn't even get any dole money because I hadn't paid enough stamps.
Right. Well, do you know, my mother said that I had to get a job, no messing. And she said if I didn't get a job, she said she'd get a job and then I'd have to stay at home and do all the cleaning and all the housework.
You wouldn't want that.
No way. Not funny, now.
No.
What was your job?
Ah, I started work at the co-op at 5 sites. Sadly, it's not there anymore. You couldn't use the front stairs, you had to, and you couldn't use the lift. You had to go the back way. And by the time you'd run up the stairs, if you couldn't get up the first bus in the morning, by the time you went up the stairs, you'd be late.
Oh, I remember that lift. I remember that lift. It had those big sliding gates that went like that, didn't they? And then there was this lift attendant in there. He would take the shoppers up and down all day, wouldn't he? I remember what he said. He used to say, "Stand clear of the doors, going down, ladies' underwear." Oh, he must have enjoyed all the gossip, mustn't he?
Talking about gossip, the worst gossip in our place was the tea lady. And she used to come round twice a day on the dot. She knew all the gossip everywhere. And I don't know how she always managed to come on time when she stopped so often to gossip. But she was always on time.
I can imagine her. Shall I show you? I can imagine. Tea? Cup? Coffee? Oh, I'm not one for gossip, but have you heard of the palaver?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the palaver on floor 3.
Yes,
Ooh.
well, that's just what she was like.
There was a couple that worked in our office, husband and wife, but she had to be called Miss because husbands and wives were
That's
allowed to
right.
work together then.
That's right.
I don't know what they thought they'd do.
Oh, God, sorry.
I left school when I was 15. When I was at school, I took part in everything to do with drama. All the plays, we travelled around the country showing, doing plays in festivals and everything. And my teacher said that he could apply, if I wanted to, apply for a college to Raleigh. And I thought, wow, that's fantastic. So I went home and I told my stepfather, and he said,
Drama school? You're not doing that. Only certain types go on the stage.
well, our school was right opposite one of the largest railway construction depots in the south of England. And so I applied there for a job as a draftsman. And I actually passed the exam to go in. So I was very pleased. And I went home and I told my stepfather. And the pay was £2, 10 shillings a week then.
You're not doing that. I'll get you a job with some real money.
So he got me a job on the farm where we lived. I mean, I learned a lot. I mean, it wasn't long, before I had my arm that far inside of a cow. We had to do that to make sure the calf was coming when it was pregnant. And I learned to drive a tractor. But I looked around me and I saw one of the older men on the farm, and I thought, if I don't do something, I'll end up just like him at the age of 65. I'd always thought about joining the Royal Marines, so I thought I would. But I did it all in secret. I passed the medical and all the exams until the time came when I just had to get my parents, my stepfather and mother, to actually sign to say that it was okay. And I took the paperwork home and put it down in front of my stepfather, who was an ex-Royal Marine himself.
I'm not signing that. You wouldn't last 3 weeks in the Royal Marines.
But luckily, my stepfather had never legally adopted me. So I didn't need his signature. It was just my mum's that I needed. So I left and joined the Royal Marines.
And Malcolm's stepfather died just 3 months before Malcolm was promoted to Sergeant Major.
Here we go.
We never had it so good. The kids were tougher, the times they were rougher, and now they're gone for good. Sure is brighter, our mood will be lighter, and always looking good. Oh, we never had it so good. Oh, we never had it so good. We have smiling faces, all our places, we love our neighborhoods. The 60s are coming, we're in the future running, we promise understood. Oh, we never had it so good. Oh, we never had it so good.
Audience. I'm glad you remember that was the misquote from Harold Macmillan. We never had it so good. Maybe you think the 50s never had it so good, and maybe we've given you a little bit of insight into that this afternoon. We hope that you've enjoyed our trip down memory lane, that has provoked some of the memories. Maybe some of the memories were yours. I'd like to thank all the cast, our technician, Richard,